Of course, it was fun on set. We'd both grown up in that world, but long before the cameras stopped rolling, her life was already moving in a direction no one warned her about. She was one of the biggest child stars on the planet. A Disney phenomenon. Award-winning, bankable, trusted to carry entire films before she was old enough to vote. But while the cameras captured smiles and standing ovations, her life behind the scenes was slowly unraveling. She carried immense pressure in silence. She faced health struggles she never spoke about. And she walked straight into a financial crisis that nearly wiped out everything she had earned. By the time the truth surfaced, the damage had already been done. From the outside, Hayley Mills looked like someone who had life figured out unusually early. She smiled easily. She spoke with confidence. To the public, she wasn't just successful, she seemed protected, settled, and happy inside a career that worked exactly as it should. But that polished image only told part of the story. Behind it was a life moving far faster than the person living it. Hayley Catherine Rose Vivian Mills was born on April 18, 1946, in Marylebone, London, into a family where art wasn't an aspiration, it was daily life. Her father, John Mills, was one of Britain's most respected actors. Her mother, Mary Hayley Bell, was a novelist and playwright. Scripts, rehearsals, and creative debates filled their home, and actors and writers passed through regularly. Fame wasn't foreign to the Mills family. It was part of the landscape. What was different was how early it came for Hayley, and how completely it took over. She attended the Elmhurst Ballet School, where discipline and performance were taken seriously. She was trained to move, listen, and respond with precision, and that training shaped how she carried herself on screen. Even as a child, she appeared composed and alert. Directors noticed. In 1958, director J. Lee Thompson noticed her almost by chance while visiting the Mills family home. She wasn't performing, she was simply present, but her focus and ease were unmistakable. Thompson cast her opposite her father in Tiger Bay, and everything changed. Critics responded immediately. Hayley won the BAFTA Award for Most Promising Newcomer, and British cinema suddenly had a new face to watch. From the outside, it looked like the perfect beginning: early discovery, experienced parents, and instant praise. Then Hollywood came calling. In 1960, Hayley starred in Pollyanna for Walt Disney Productions and became an international star almost overnight. Audiences saw warmth, optimism, and sincerity. Disney saw reliability and mass appeal. The Academy honored her with a Juvenile Award, and the following year she received the Golden Globe for New Star of the Year. By then, her image was firmly set. She was the bright, capable young actress who could carry a film effortlessly. When she played twins in The Parent Trap, the role became symbolic: two versions of the same girl, perfectly timed and perfectly executed. The public loved the idea that Hayley Mills could be everything at once. Disney cast her again and again. In Search of the Castaways, Summer Magic, The Moon Spinners, That Darn Cat. Each film reinforced the same message: dependable, cheerful, untroubled. One of the most recognizable young stars in the world, and that was the version people held onto. What they didn't see was how narrow that image had become, or how much pressure it placed on a child growing up inside it. Her career never slowed, her smile never slipped, but the distance between who she appeared to be and who she actually was kept widening. For years, the public saw Hayley Mills as someone protected by success. Fame came early, awards followed quickly, and everything looked carefully managed. Privately, that same structure boxed her in. She was only 12 when international fame became permanent. Soon after, she signed a long-term Disney contract committing her to 6 films. There was no room to question it. It promised stability and prestige, but it also brought relentless expectation. Disney didn't just cast her, they shaped her. She was marketed as innocent, kind, and endlessly positive. Interviews reinforced it. Roles repeated it. Public appearances demanded it. As she entered her teenage years, she was expected not to change. Normal adolescence had to happen quietly, if at all. She was constantly compared to her father's legacy and quietly measured against her sister's career. Every performance felt like a test. And behind the scenes, she missed opportunities to grow. More challenging roles were considered, but Disney's control over her image made them impossible. By the mid-1960s, the cracks began to show. When she tried to transition into adult roles with The Family Way, audiences weren't ready. The contrast was too sharp. Instead of opening doors, it confused expectations. Offers slowed. Casting directors didn't know where to place her. She wasn't rejected, she was frozen in time. By the 1970s, her momentum as a film star had faded rather than disappear. She adapted, she turned to the stage, where audiences were more open to seeing her as she was, not as she had been. Television followed. The pace was calmer. The expectations were different. It wasn't superstardom, but it was control. Years later, she told her story herself. In her 2021 memoir Forever Young, she wrote openly about the emotional cost of early fame and the long process of reclaiming her identity. Then, unexpectedly, Hollywood returned. In 2024, she appeared in Trap, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, not as nostalgia, but simply as herself. What few people realized was that one of the most destabilizing chapters of her life had nothing to do with fame at all. It had to do with money. Despite decades of success, much of her earnings were lost to Britain's extremely high tax rates at the time, up to 91%. When she finally accessed her trust fund, the money she believed was waiting was largely gone. Nothing illegal had happened. Nothing was stolen. But the result was devastating. The loss reshaped her priorities. Fame no longer promised protection. Stability mattered more than visibility. Theater and television became necessities, not choices. Her personal life was no less complicated. Marriages and long relationships followed, some marked by imbalance, others by uncertainty, until she eventually found lasting steadiness with actor Fergus Bomji, a partner who shared her quiet, grounded approach to life. For decades, Hailey appeared settled and composed. What few people knew was that she privately struggled with bulimia and later faced breast cancer in 2008. That diagnosis became a turning point, forcing her to choose herself for the first time. Today, Hailey Mills lives quietly. She works on her own terms, focuses on family, and enjoys life as a grandmother. The industry no longer defines her worth. 4 years, she lived 2 lives, the one the public saw and the one she carried alone. The distance between them wasn't deception. It was survival. Now that her story has finally been told in her own words, those 2 lives no longer need to stay separate. Do you think Hailey Mills was ever truly protected from the harsh consequences of fame? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, click on the next one on your screen, like this video, and subscribe for more stories like this.